Matches Balone.
Hey guys, Matches Balone. I'm bringing you guys another news quickie. For those guys new to my channel, I talk about a news article that doesn't have a lot content and length, so I decided to put gameplay footage. This is a DC Comics fan channel, so I try to keep it very focused on DC Comics, but as you can see, this is not a DC Comics video game. But there's a very specific reason why I chose this gameplay footage to put up on my channel. But the news article I want to talk about today is coming from Bleeding Cool. It's very quick. It's not even like a paragraph long, so if you guys want to check it out for yourself, the link will be in the description. Basically, what this news article is talking about is how DC Comics wants to make a 2-year-long story arc inside of DC Rebirth that all of the books are going to somewhat connect in some fashion, way, or form. And I kind of want to talk about this with you guys. Now, I read this article last night, and I kind of slept on it and been thinking about it ever since. So I decided to make this video guys today to kind of tell you guys my kind of 2 cents on it all. Right off the bat, I don't think it's a really good idea. I think a 2-year story arc is just a bad move, and just no other way to say it, but it's essentially kind of stupid. You're starting essentially a new run of your comics, right? You're starting back at number 1. So you're asking people to invest in these comic books, right? And there's a lot of people already pissed off at DC Comics for going back to number 1. You already asked them just 5 years prior to do that, and now to redo it, it's kind of like a big slap in the face, because it's only been 5 years since the New 52. And I understand DC Comics is doing this to gain more people on and kind of make a jumping on point for new readers to jump on. But I think you're contradicting yourself by making a 2-year-long story arc. If you make a 2-year-long story arc, you're asking the reader to invest 2 years of their time reading the story. And I know I'm over-exaggerating, but in essence, you're asking that. You're asking somebody to, hey, if you're a fan of Batman, you just saw Batman v Superman, you think Batman is cool, buy Batman number 1, and keep reading it, and you're essentially going to get a story over the next 2 years that it has one full beginning, middle, and end. And I think that's just a lot to ask, for multiple reasons. One, right off the bat, is there's no jumping on point. If you're new to comics, I pick up Batman number 1, right, come June, I believe. Pick up Batman number 1, now it's December, we're at, what's that, 6 months? 6 months, 7 months, something like that, so we're in Batman 6, Batman 7. My friend, he liked Batman v Superman, he just bought it on Blu-ray, he saw it, he's like, hey, can I, what comics you recommend? I said, yeah, pick up Batman. Pick up Batman number 7, and he's like, what the hell is going on? Why does Batman have a metal arm, and he has laser shooting out of his eyes? Of course that's not gonna happen, but who knows. But then now I have to tell my friend, oh, this is the story, I have to catch him up on it. And 7 issues is not a lot, but what if it becomes issue 32? What if it becomes issue 50? Now it's up to me or someone else. Maybe it's the cash register, maybe it's just Wikipedia, I don't know. You're asking someone else to catch this person up on basically a year to 2 years worth of story. And I just think that becomes very difficult. A lot of people are just going to be, hey, you know what, there's so much I have to catch up on, there's too much baggage. I'm just not going to read this right now. I'll wait for the trade, or I'll wait for a complete set. I don't know. But you just lost that audience. You just lost that reader from picking up their comics. So I think that right away is a negative. I think another negative that's more towards, the everyday comic book reader that's already invested in comic books. You're asking them to be interested in whatever this 2-year story arc might be. Comic books, there's always multiple story arcs. There's always multiple creative teams that join the team, that they leave, and there's a new writer, there's a new artist, whatever. But they always do that to freshen up the series, so that it keeps it interesting, it keeps it fresh. If you have the same story for 2 years, you have to be 100% behind it. If the story, let's say it's the Flash, for 2 years the Flash is going to be battling Reverse Flash, and there's going to be time traveling involved, and he's going to be going across dimensions, whatever. If you're not a fan of Reverse Flash, you automatically are already on a bad, that's an epic kill. You're already automatically on a bad foot for the next 2 years. If you don't like the time travel, you're on a bad foot. if you know whatever it might be, whatever gripe you might have. Maybe you're just not into the writer. You know, you're not interested in the writer, but you're picking up Flash out of, you know, loyalty because you like the Flash. But now you're stuck with this writer for the next 2 years. You guys get my point of view. You're gonna start to drive a wedge between your audience because you're gonna conflict on them wanting to support you, wanting to support this title because they like it, but ultimately deciding, hey, I'm just getting no enjoyment out of this, I'm going to stop buying the book. And then the problem is, if you stop reading it, you're never going to be able to jump on again, because if you stop at issue 14 and then pick up at issue 20, what happened in those 6 issues? You know, it's obviously going to be important because it's 2 years worth of story content. You know, you're never going to have the full beginning, middle, end if you skip 6 issues, if you skip a huge chunk. So that's a huge negative, again, from the side of a comic book reader. Now, they don't really specifically say if this is just an overall universe story arc. You know, maybe DC Universe Rebirth #1 is the start, and then every 4 or 6 months we're going to get another DC Universe issue, right? DC Universe issue 2, DC Universe issue 3. I don't know, maybe that's the story, or maybe it is that Batman's going to have a 2-year-long story arc, Superman's going to have a 2-year-long story arc, Suicide Squad's going to have a 2-year-long story arc. You know, I'm not 100% sure. But if they do the DC Universe route, that is just, you know, over-encompassing the whole universe, there might be a way they can pull this off and have some success to it to a degree. Now, if they keep it that it's only the DC Universe in general, you free up the other books to kind of essentially go back and still have your 6-issue, 2-issue story arcs, whatever. So I think that's automatically a plus. But what's a negative here is that comic books in general are very hard to jump on for multiple reasons. You know, it's an expensive hobby, it's hard to pick up and read, you know, whatever you want to say. The reason I don't want to, you know, kind of compare medias, because, you know, it's not fair to compare a book to a song and a song to a movie. It's just, you know, different genres, different rules, whatever you want to say. But the reason I chose this gameplay is because this video game is called Doom, and right now what you're seeing is me playing a beta, and the beta is basically a stress test to see if people can play online and their video game works. But at the same time, this is essentially a demo, right? It's a demonstration of the game. People, you know, they try it out. They see this is the guns you might see in the game. This is some of the gameplay, you know, whatever. You get a taste test, essentially. And I'm a very passive gamer. You know, video games is another expensive hobby to get into. So I don't have $60 to drop on every new game. I would love to. You know, I would love to have multiple, you know, just cash for video games to try all of the new cool games that come out, but I don't have it, and so I tend to take, or I trend, man, I can't even speak to that now. But basically, I stay with the games that I've been playing for years, right? If it's a game that I've been playing since I was a child, or I got into as a teenager, more likely than not, I'm gonna stay with the game that I know than pick a game that's completely different to me. And so Doom was a game that I knew about and I was interested, but just because, again, I don't have extra money to spend, it was always going to be that thing. If I try it at a friend's house or whatever reason, if I try it out or it's super cheap, maybe I'll buy it, maybe I'll purchase it. But as of right now, I'm not interested in the game. I'm not going to buy it. This beta came out. I tried it. I'm a lot more interested in it because now I know what the game it's like. Now I know if I like it or dislike it. And I'm not 100% sold on the game yet. I'm probably going to play a couple more matches. This is like, I believe, my 3rd match. But at least I know what this game it's going to have in store for me. And I think that's what DC Comics should do if they want to make a 2-year-long story arc. Make DC Universe the comic, quote-unquote, right? If DC Universe Rebirth is the first issue, then, you know, we already know issue 1 is going to be $3. But make issue 2 free, make issue 3 free, make whatever issues come after that, make them free. Now, I understand DC Comics has to make money. That's the whole point of DC Rebirth. They're trying to get more people into comics. I completely get that. But if you're asking them to spend or invest in one comic book and now they have to buy 2 issues a month, that's $6. And a lot of people, they don't just buy one comic book, you know, they read multiple, you know. They'll read Justice League, they'll read Batman, they'll read Superman. So now, instead of just buying one comic book a month now it turns into about six comic books a month. You know, and each one comes out at $3. So if you're already spending, man, why am I so horrible at math right now? What's that? 15. I think if you're spending about $15 right now, then you have to ask, hey, you have to spend another $3 to find out what's in the universe. So that 15 just went up to 18. And I think that's just, you know, again, to put it plain and simple, I think that's very bogus from DC Comics to ask from your reader. If you're already invested in reading a comic book, you should just freely tell them, hey, this is what happened in the rest of the universe. And the reason they should do that is because you're going to give them a taste test. I'm the guy waving, you know, so I'm first place, so that's pretty awesome. But you're going to give them pretty much a taste test for the rest of the books that you have in your line. So if you're reading Batman, you read DC Universe, let's say issue 2, you find out, hey, this is what Suicide Squad is doing, this is what Constantine is doing. Now you become interested in those books, and then you might go and pick up those books. And so, yeah, you gave away a book that you could have spent $3. You gave it away for free, but now you kind of invested in the idea that the audience, the reader, is going to in turn turn around and buy those books and essentially give more money to the company. And I think that's ultimately the only way they can succeed if this is a two-year long story arc. Because, you know, like I said, I think it's kind of like a dumb move. You know, just you're asking too much from the reader. You know, that's essentially it. You know, I don't know what else to say. I'm trying to keep everything short and concise. You know, I'm a person who tends to ramble on and on. That's why I decided to put this gameplay footage. You know, the gameplay is about 12 minutes in length. So I wanted to keep it short and keep it focused. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Any thoughts and opinions you guys have, go ahead, comment down below. Tell me what do you guys think of this all. You know, if I'm over exaggerating, or you guys think the 2-year story arc is awesome. You know, tell me. I'm really interested on your guys' point of view. And you know, go ahead and like this video, guys. Like it, dislike if you didn't. 2813, that's good. And subscribe. Later.